Hey guys, welcome to Fallout History. This is a series that I'm producing that is going to be based on the lore and the background for the Fallout franchise. Not just the lore in the game, but actually the background for the franchise itself. This first episode is going to be looking at Fallout, the history of the game, how the first game came to be, and from there we're going to go on to the actual lore, all getting ready for what's hopefully coming out soon, Fallout 4. With movies like Mad Max and A Boy and His Dog, the idea of surviving the end of days was embedded in people's minds. These worlds are filled with mutants, zombie-like ghouls, radiation, vast deserts, and large firearms. A place of horror and freedom. No law, no 9-to-5 job, just survival. Intraplay, a studio known for the RPG A Bard's Tale, produced a game in 1988. Published by Electronic Arts called Wasteland. Wasteland is set decades after the nuclear holocaust that turned the Earth into, as the title suggests, a massive wasteland where survival is everything. You, the player, are part of what remains of the U.S. Army, now known as the Desert Rangers, based in the southwestern United States. Through the course of the game, the player is taken on a story to save what remains of humanity, recruiting new members to your group as you explore one of the first persistent worlds in video games. Wasteland was given the title of Game of the Year by Computer Gaming Monthly in 1988. In 2000, Wasteland was ranked as the 24th top PC game of all time by IGN, called one of the best RPGs ever graced the PC, and a truly innovative RPG of its time. Fairly impressive for a game released on the Apple II, the Commodore 64, and the PC DOS on two 5¼ floppy disks. An intended sequel to Wasteland was released in 1990 called Fountain of Dreams, set in a post-war Florida. EA decided not to advertise it as a sequel to Wasteland at the last moment, as none of the original developers actually had worked on the title, and it really sucked. Another title was being developed by Intraplay during the same period, called Meantime, which was being developed by the same developers of Wasteland. But it was nearly finished when the 8-bit game market completely died off in favor of better graphic quality games like the Ultima series. My favorite of the Ultima series has to be the MMO Ultima Online, probably the best MMO of all times, but that's another story for another time. So what does this have to do with Fallout? Well, in 1997, Intraplay would develop and release one of the best RPGs of all time. Not being able to produce a direct sequel to their original title Wasteland, due to not owning the rights at that point, they came up with a new name, Fallout. Originally, Fallout was going to use the GURPS tabletop RPG system developed by Steve Jackson, but the deal fell through due to the extreme violence and gore the Fallout franchise is so well known for now. Oh man.
Is it on fire when we left?
What's up? Ah! Was it on fire when we left? No, it wasn't on fire when we left. I don't think.
Come get some.
Ah! Hammer, giant hammer. Get him, get him. Yeah. Now this made Intraplay scramble and rewrite the entire system for which all interaction in the regional Fallout is based on in about 2 weeks before release, creating the new system we now know as the Special System. Special is an acronym for Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and Luck. These stats affect everything from NPC conversation, random chance encounters, to the % chance of actually hitting your target or an enemy. Speaking of combat, character movement in Fallout was real time until either the player entered combat mode or an enemy was located nearby, then the game would switch to a tactical turn-based game. Adding depth to the combat system was the ability to target specific body parts and the ability to have 2 weapons equipped. Your special stats would affect how often you attacked, the range at which you could attack, and the chance to hit those targets at that range. In Fallout 1, the player would spend most of his time traveling to new locations and interacting with the local inhabitants, which usually had some issue or dilemma that needed solving, like most RPGs. What made Fallout unique, on the other hand, was that these problems could be approached in multiple ways. You could solve a problem in a completely unconventional way and still be rewarded with karma and experience. The player character choices eventually led to the game's multiple endings. So as for the plot for Fallout 1, you play as an inhabitant of one of the government's contracted Fallout shelters, known as vaults. Taking place several decades after the Third World War is brought on by a global shortage of petroleum, you're tasked with finding a computer chip that is used in water processing for the vault. Now check back here with us on TGN for our next installment featuring the history and lore of the first Fallout game, more information, and a continuation of this series on to Fallout 2, 3, New Vegas, and hopefully by the time we get to the end, Fallout 4.